Good day, sir, and everyone. I am Christine Sunogan from Bachelor of Elementary Education, third year. So I am going to report and discuss about the life and work of Dante Alighieri. Dante Alighieri. So, who is Dante Alighieri? Dante Alighieri was born in Florence, Italy in 1265 and died in Ravenna, Italy in 1321. So, he came from a family of the lower nobility and was educated in grammar, rhetoric, and Latin literature. So, as a young man, Dante fell in love with Beatrice Portinari, who would become the inspiration for his poetry. So, despite his love for her, she remained unreachable to him throughout his life. So this is Dante Alighieri and this is Beatrice Portinari. So in 1302, Dante was exiled from Florence due to political reasons. So Dante Alighieri was an Italian poet and philosopher who lived during the late Middle Ages. So he is best known for his epic poem, the Divine Comedy, which explores themes of love, morality, and the afterlife. Dante's work has had a profound influence on the Western literature and philosophy, particularly in the development of the concept the hero's journey. So, his influence on Western literature and philosophy has been profound, and he is often considered one of the greatest poets of all time. So, his works continue to be studied and admired for their beauty, complexity, and insight into the human condition. So, throughout the Divine Comedy, Dante explores complex philosophical and theological ideas such as the nature of sin, the importance of love, and the role of free will in determining one's fate. So, he also presents a vivid and detailed picture of the afterlife, filled with mythological creatures and characters from history and literature. So, his influence on Western literature and philosophy has been profound, and he is often considered one of the greatest poets of all time. So, his works continue to be studied and admired for their beauty, complexity, and insight into the human condition. So, the life of Dante was he was a Italian poet and she wrote many writings. So afterwards, I discuss about or I will discuss the writings of Dante Alighieri. So let's go on the writings of Dante. So during his exile, he traveled extensively and wrote many of his most important works, including the Divine Comedy, the Veta Nova or the New Life, and the third one is the De Vulgari Eloquentia on eloquence in the vernacular. So the Divine Comedy, the poem is divided into three parts. So the three parts are the first is the Inferno or Hell, the second is the Purgatorio or the Purgatory, and the Paradise or the Paradiso or the Paradise. So it tells the story of Dante's journey through the afterlife, guided by the Roman poet Virgil. So throughout the Divine Comedy, Dante explores complex philosophical and theological ideas, such as the nature of sin, the importance of love, and the role of free will in determining one's fate. So he also presents a vivid of detailed picture of the afterlife, filled with mythological creatures and characters from history and literature. So throughout the poem, Dante explores themes of love, morality, and the nature of existence. So he also criticizes the political and religious leaders of his time, using his work as a platform for social commentary. So this was the three writings of Dante Alighieri. So the first is the Divine Comedy, the first picture, and the second picture is the Veta Nova, the New Life, and the third picture is the De Vulgari Eloquentia on eloquence in the vernacular. So the Divine Comedy, Protura Actress, and then the Veta Nova or the New Life, which is a collection of poems about his love for Beatrice Portinari, and then the De Vulgari Eloquentia on the eloquence in the vernacular, which is a treatise on the use of the Italian language and literature. So overall, overall, Dante's life and writings have had a profound influence on Western literature and philosophy, and his works continue to be studied and appreciated around the world. So let's go forward on the virtues and values of Dante Alighieri. So Dante's virtues and values are evident in his writings and his life. So he was a deeply religious man who believed in the importance of faith, hope, and love. So these themes are central to his epic poem, The Divine Comedy. In addition to his religious belief, Dante also valued knowledge, reason, and intellect. So he was a proponent of the use of the Italian language in literature and wrote extensively about the importance of eloquence and expression. So Dante also had a strong sense of justice and morality. So in the Divine Comedy, he criticizes the political and religious leaders of his time and their corruption and hypocrisy. He believed that individuals should strive to live virtuous lives and that society as a whole would benefit from moral leadership. So, furthermore, Dante was a patriotic Italian who believed in the power of language and culture to unite people. So, he wrote during a time when Italy was divided into numerous city states, and he hoped that his work would help to foster a sense of national identity and unity. So, overall, Dante's virtues and values can be summarized as a deep faith in God, a commitment to reason and knowledge, and a strong sense of justice and morality, a love for his country, and a belief in the power of language and culture to bring people together. So, ang iyang virtues and values is more nag-psychology sa about sa faith, hope, and love. So let's go again in the principles of Dante Alighieri. So Dante's principles are rooted in his religious beliefs and his commitment to moral and ethical values. So some of his key principles include first is the importance of faith, second is the rule of reason, third is the significance of love, fourth is the value of justice, and the last is the power of language and culture. So first is the importance of faith. So Dante believed that faith was the foundation of a virtuous life and that without it, one could not hope to achieve salvation. So ang gusto ni Dante is one of us is na ay faith. So that kung natin faith, ma-achieve na to ang salvation. So the second is the rule of reason. While faith was essential, Dante also believed that reason and intellect were important tools for understanding the world and making moral decision. So, kung natin faith, dapat mura sa tumong gibubuhat nga mga moral decision. So the third is the significance of love. So Dante placed great emphasis on love. So particularly the love of God and the love of others. So he believed that these forms of love were essential for living and fulfilling a meaningful life. So di ba kung naay love, so dapat na, so naay peace. So the fourth is the value of justice. So Dante was a strong advocate for justice and believed that individuals should be held accountable for their actions. So he criticized those in power who abuse their positions and ignore the suffering of others. So last is the power of language and culture. So Dante was a proud Italian and believed in the power of language and culture to unite people and foster a sense of national. So, overall, Dante's principles are grounded in his religious beliefs, his commitment to moral and ethical values, and his love for his country and culture. Let's move forward to the ethics of Dante Alighieri. So, Dante's ethics are deeply rooted in his religious beliefs, his commitment to moral and ethical values. So, some of the key elements of his ethical philosophy include first is the importance of free will, the second is the concept of sin and punishment, third is the value of repentance, fourth is the rule of virtue, and the five is the power of love, and the last is the significance of justice. So the first is the importance of free will. So Dante believed that individuals have the ability to choose their actions and are therefore responsible for their actions. So, dapat kung mo-take ka action, dapat mo-take po ka og responsibility para ana nga actions. The second is the concept of sin and punishment. So, Dante believed that the sinful actions lead to spiritual punishment, so both in this life and the afterlife. So, kung himo kag sin, so dapat ang imong sin is naapoy possibility na punishment. So, third is the value of repentance. So Dante emphasized the importance of repentance and seeking forgiveness for one's sins. So once ikaw kasalanan, so dapat magrepent ka or mga o forgiveness sa imong nabuhat nga sins. So the fourth is the rule of virtue. Dante believed that living a virtuous life was essential for achieving salvation and avoiding spiritual punishment. So dapat na kay virtuous life para ma-achieve nimo ang salvation o ang atong spiritual nga punishment. Five is the power of love. So Dante placed great emphasis on the transformative power of love, both in terms of our relationship with others and our relationship with God. So, as I said earlier, nga dapat natin love is with each others and to our God. So the last is the significance of justice. So Dante believed the importance of justice and held those in power accountable for their actions. So overall, Dante's ethics are grounded in his religious belief and his commitment to moral and ethical values, emphasizing the importance of free will, repentance, virtue, and justice. So let's go on the morality of Dante Alighieri. So Dante's morality is deeply rooted in his religious beliefs and his commitment to moral and ethical values. So some of the key elements of his moral philosophy includes: first is the importance of virtue, second is the rule of sin, the third is the power of repentance, and fourth is the value of justice, and the last is the significance of love. So the first is the importance of virtue. So Dante believed that living a virtuous life was essential for achieving salvation and avoiding spiritual punishment. So pareho ganina sa ethics ni Dante nga dapat ma-achieve na to ang virtue so that ma-achieve na to para ma-avoid na to ang spiritual punishment. So the second is the rule of sin. So Dante believed the sinful action lead to spiritual punishment both in his life and the afterlife. So third is the power of repentance. So ganina is the value of repentance man tong iyang ethics. So karon is the power of repentance. So Dante emphasized the importance of repentance and seeking forgiveness for one's sins. So fourth is the value of justice. So Dante believed in the importance of justice and held those in power accountable for their actions. So the last is the significance of love. So Dante placed great emphasis on the transformative power of love, both in terms of our relationships with others and our relationship with God. So same raman at sila sa ethics ni sa ethics o ang morality ni Dante. So overall, Dante's morality is grounded in his religious beliefs and his commitment to moral and ethical values, emphasizing the importance of virtue, repentance, justice, and love. So, so as we can see, or as you're listening to my discussion, so ang philosophy or ang ethics o ang morality ni Dante is na-focus sa virtue, repentance, justice, about faith, and about love. So to closing my discussion, I have here the best quotation of Dante Alighieri. So here is his quote. The hottest places in hell are reserved for those who, in times of moral crisis, preserve their neutrality. So, Dante Alighieri, the Italian poet best known for his epic poem, The Divine Comedy, is often credited with the quote, "The hottest places in hell are reserved for those who, in times of moral crisis, preserve their neutrality." So, this quotation is often interpreted as a warning against complacency or indifference in the face of moral or ethical challenges. So it, it suggests that those who choose to remain neutral or silent when confronted His such dilemmas are not only failing to take a stand for what is right. So, the hottest place na, kung kinsa man galitong kanang gahilom and then kabalo sila mo stand bitaw sa ilahang kung unsay sakto but are also contributing to the problem. Instead, Dante seems to be advocating for achieve engagement and moral courage in the face of advisor, adversity. So that's it. Thank you and God bless.